I'll wait till...
No, okay.
There's no intro video. It's as soon as the music plays, that's going to be the video. So, unless you want them to watch YouTube.
Alright.
Whatever.
Yeah, we're good. Alright.
Watch Roots or something. Roots was on PBS, right?
Where'd you post the week in review?
Facebook.
Yeah.
Welcome, trainers, to the 4th week of the PBF, the 3rd PBF podcast. I'm Mike Mealy. With me, Jeremy Temple.
Hey.
And the Director of Video Operations.
Thank you.
And the formerly undefeated Seth Graham.
Starting already.
We're going to start off with Interleague Week talk, folks. And what bigger Interleague Week news than the streak being broken?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had said it all along that obviously I knew I was going to take a loss. And it was actually to my good friend Jeremy over here, who I wouldn't have had it any other way if I had to pick one person to lose to. I don't want to get romantic, but...
Oh, thank you. See, I'm always of the mantra of, just simple... When it comes to Pokemon, and like most people, probably like all of you, like breed, sweep, Pokemon Center, repeat. But this week going into it, I was thinking, breed, sweep, break the streak.
Oh.
And so, with a mindset like that, it's kind of hard to lose. So, not to toot my own horn, because he brought it up, not me. I was going to completely...
Oh, no, we definitely had to talk about it.
So Seth made it 4 weeks in the Pokemon Federation without a loss. Week 5 did it. Red meeting Blue Conference. Now, Jeremy, I think you posted the Blue Conference beat the Red Conference in the first week.
Pretty handedly.
Are you surprised?
No. Well, I'm not surprised that Blue won, but I am a little surprised that Blue won by that much.
That's fair. I think it was 7 games more than...
Something, I think it was like 28 to...
14?
14 or something like that,
yeah.
And, because it's pretty obvious that the blue divisions are incredibly competitive at this point, and especially the Pikachu division. You have, I think, 3 and like a half teams. Okay, 3 teams in a log jam at the top, and Silver Dial just right up there trying to claw in there. And it's pretty much the same situation in the Squirtle division. Last week we would have said that Team No-Hawk's running away with it, but now that he's got a loss to his name, I think it's anyone's division.
And I heard that he's floating Jirachi on the market, so he might be shut.
Yeah, and it's bad whenever I don't even want it now. And that's right. No one is available for trade right now.
And we should mention, while we're on the subject, this is the last week to trade.
Sure is.
There are no more trades after week 5.
No.
The waiver wire will be open until the playoffs start, because we don't want anybody dropping in between series games. So, waiver wire is still good. But yeah, get your trades in before Sunday at midnight. And if we get a request for approval at 11:59, that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as it was worked out.
If the third party doesn't approve it until 12:05.
I'd also like to address some hijinks that we could possibly do with the waiver wire, because this is definitely something I would do, and it's not something I thought of until now, is even though there's a trade deadline, technically, I could say, hey, you drop Jirachi real quick,
and then
I'll pick him right back up, and then I'll drop this guy. I guess you can't technically do that. No, you can't. It'd be like a 2-week process. You could technically do that at like 11:59 at the end of the week.
And that leaves room for someone to come in and possibly mess with it during those 7 days.
Yeah, so I guess it's fair game. I mean, if you have the the gumption and the dedication to do it, knock yourself out.
Yep.
I won't harp on people. Whatever. So,
I see no problem with it.
No, absolutely not.
Nope.
So with that being said, any quick thoughts on the first week of Interleague besides Blues' dominance over Red?
I'd really like Red to kind of step it up. I mean, especially because there are some pretty tight playoff races in the Red Conference here. Charmander division, really anyone's game at this point. Bulbasaur division, you could say the exact same thing. And I mean, if you want to win your division, you're gonna have to do well in Interleague. We're halfway through the season now, or less than halfway.
Well, we will be halfway after this week.
After this week, whatever. But I'm just as of right now, though, I believe we've gotten 6 games in. I think Red is 5-1 right now.
Really?
So
yeah.
we're getting a little bit of a turnaround here. So
even up.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going.
Well, and just to point out, like we had just talked about the Pikachu division last week and how close it was.
Yep.
And it's funny, nobody played each other all interleague play, and there's still only 2 points between the leader and the two tied for second.
That's going to be a division to watch. I mean, I don't know who's going to win that division. For your best guess, 5 weeks from now, who are we going to be talking about as the shoe-in for the first or second seed in the Blue Conference as the winner of the Pikachu division?
It's so hard because I think it'll come down. I don't want to, it's really hard. But we talked about how Maestro Missy had a tough week last week. But she was 3-0 in interleague play this week.
Destroyed me.
And really closed the gap and kept it close with our boy Peasley over here. So
yeah, I don't see the Philly Flygons. I love you, Gordon.
Yeah.
You probably won't watch this.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't see you keeping up the steam. I could see Silver Dial passing you up.
Ooh, Silver. That would be a big.
It would
Silver
be,
Dial has
but
to climb a little bit.
yeah, but I think he said himself he was on a 5-game losing streak or something.
Don't remember.
Yeah,
something like that.
And he's hoping to.
That's a trend that's going to reverse.
Yeah.
Go back to regression.
Yeah, and I think.
And his team is very good. Like you see the guy, you see his roster. And,
oh yeah. It's something that I think he's relied so heavily on the Aegis Slash, and the first couple weeks, no one was really able to do anything about it, and now teams are specifically trying to counter it.
Yep.
So he's got to kind of come up with a supplemental strategy here to just kind of back up Aegis Slash, or maybe even just kind of set up some pieces to let Aegis Slash come in later.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's a big reason why he picked up the line.
Yeah, but I think you are gonna see, we even talked about it in our battle. People are gonna start either picking people up off the waiver, or just really bringing guys oriented towards the teams that they're gonna play for that day.
Right.
You're gonna see and I know I've been doing it all along, but I don't know if everybody has. I think from what I've seen in the replays, I think for the first couple weeks, a lot of people chose a team that they thought worked. And maybe they did work, as a whole, but I think really changing up your team specific to your matchup is the way to go.
Yeah, and if I could add something to that, I believe there's 2, maybe 3. I can't think of the third at the time, but I think there is a third. There's at least 2 teams that have used the same exact 6 people every single time. I believe that is Magic Carpet Ride and Death Fodder Fodder. There
Maestro
may be more.
Missy, possibly, but I think there might be.
Yeah, I think Maestro Missy has. Except for her first game, maybe she didn't use Quagsire because she didn't have Quagsire at that point.
Yeah.
But all those teams are doing well.
Well, and I know because I had looked to propose a trade, to her, and it was for one of the people on her bench that she never uses, and honestly, she pointed out that due to my record, I don't think she had any incentive to give me somebody that might help me, and that is almost more almost more valuable to her. Just off of somebody else's team.
Oh no, absolutely.
While we're talking battle strategy, maybe it's time to transition to the games of the week for next week.
I guess we could. Sure. Okay.
No, that's fine. Hey, this thing's off the cuff. We're not held to any.
Take control.
Please knock yourself out.
All right. First one we're going to talk about. Got a few requests for us to talk about on the thread that Jeremy posted earlier today.
A lot of responses on that, by the way.
A lot of responses. People,
and we appreciate it.
The people want to know what we think about Wieners versus Silver Dial.
Wieners versus Silver Dial. Well, I believe they played last week, correct? That's what I gleaned from the thread. Let me just double check here.
I don't think they should have.
But I believe that they did not.
No. I probably would have fixed that.
No, they did. They played last week. They did play last week. And
that should have been fixed.
Hey, who cares? I mean, I know we have 2 repeats. I believe HM Slavers plays Cradilys 2 weeks in a row. That's a big deal. It encourages a nice friendly rivalry, the kind of rivalry that we're talking about right now. Wieners took the win. Silver Dial wants to come back and get his win back. Yeah. I don't see how that's a bad thing.
No, it makes for interesting matchups.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, I mean, they've felt each other out, and now they have kind of opportunity to, go back at it and readjust their strategy.
Yeah, honestly, I think the true. I don't want to speak like too generally because I know we're trying to get into these battles, but I just know that I think the true test, if you will, for this league is going to be when you play people for the second, possibly even third time, because first time it's like, okay, nobody's sure what to expect. It's very just like reactive. But I think now people are gonna have strategies for people, and they're gonna want to get things done that way, and it's gonna make for some interesting battles.
Yeah, and it's interesting that, especially the opportunity to have this kind of 2-game rivalry in interleague, because they will not face each other again unless they face each other in the finals of the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
So that's especially relevant whenever you're talking about like in division, because it's gonna be week 6 next week, and odds are you faced the person you faced at least one of the people you're going to face.
Probably.
So it's going to be a very similar situation.
Almost certainly, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be a very similar situation to this one where they know what they're each capable of, and obviously I'm sure they've watched replays of each other. And it's just going to be what can they do to change the outcome. And I apologize that I haven't really, as stat keepers, I honestly don't even remember if I did that game. And if I did, I obviously fast-forwarded it and just tallied it. Or if I ever have the opportunity to watch a game live as it's happening, I'm able to live stat track then, and then I'm able to watch the games. But usually just for the sake of time and getting 36 usually not 36 games, because not everybody plays them, but we usually just kind of do it as quick as we can, but accurately. So for my money, Wieners won that one. I'm going to have to pick Wieners to win it again.
See, here's the interesting part. Wieners will probably keep the same team. Wieners is one of those teams that, since Drew took over, the only thing that's changed is Jellicent versus Gorgeist.
Yeah.
But the other 5 stay the same, so Silverdale probably knows what's coming.
Yeah, he does, but does he have the tools to kind of change anything about it? I mean...
Well, the thing about Wieners' team is, like, with the Zorark, do you really know what's coming?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm not trying to be punny here.
Yeah.
I remember I when I played Wieners, I correctly predicted the Zoroark, and I wasn't sure of myself at the time.
Yeah.
It was just sort of a gut feeling. I was like, wait, Jellicent shouldn't have this damage, and I managed to kill the Zoroark in one shot, but I could easily been wrong.
Dude, that's kind of the essence of the question here. Even though both teams know what's coming, do they really know what's coming?
Yeah.
Even if you bring the same team, could have a completely different moveset.
Yeah, I know. I change sets all the time.
Could be a physically sweeping Jellicent out of nowhere.
So yeah, it's hard for us to say, especially since I don't think any of us have seen the first game. We should have, but
one of us definitely saw the first game.
Well, we
because
saw
it got
it.
scored.
But we're not journalists here. We're not investigative reporters. We are college students who started a Facebook Pokemon League. So don't expect too much out of us next game.
Or should you expect
Next
everything
game.
out of us?
Next game.
Let's go with my championship versus the Dynamic Duo.
Champion versus Dynamic Duo. We actually have the privilege of saying that game has already been played.
Yes.
So do we talk about it having been played, or it having not been played, and say
it?
All right. Here's what I.
Well, they already know that it's been played, so let's talk about it in past tense.
So I'm gonna go even past tense. I'm gonna do a past tense of the past tense.
The preview of the preview.
This is what I originally thought before the game was played. So this is like 2 days ago. I said, hey, my championship team's a division leader. He's pretty good. Knows what he's doing. Dynamic Duo's got a very surprisingly, it's a sneaky record because I think he's like 6-5.
So it's a quiet playoff spot.
Right.
Quiet
right.
Playoff.
And I'm not saying it's a bad record, but I'm saying it's not as good as the other people in his division. But because of the other records in his division, it's still a very good division. Just in comparison, I believe he's in Squirtle, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So compared to the top 3 there, it's sneaky, but he's a very good player, and he actually did end up winning and surprising me. Although maybe it shouldn't have been a surprise. Maybe I was just kind of writing him off because he was on a 4th playoff spot. He was in one of the wild cards, and I was just like, oh,
division leader versus
wild card, yeah.
But again, it was blue versus red. Blue seems to have red's number.
That's true, and that's the beauty of the PPF. I firmly believe that anybody could beat anybody, even if you do all the preparation in the world for a team. Something could go wrong. You miss an attack. That's
we said that from week 1.
Yeah, that's Pokemon.
I got frozen 3 times in a game this week. And
yeah.
If that wouldn't happen, I might have won.
Wow.
All right, Peasley. No, I'm just kidding.
So, but I absolutely.
Leader.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I'm absolutely not discrediting Dynamic Duo. I watched, I think, half the game. I caught the bottom half, and he played very well. I originally questioned. I think he went for a Swords Dance on a Scizor when I never would have in, my wildest dreams, because I thought it was over. And he actually took a risk, and it paid off incredibly.
Yep.
And it was
Bullet Punch sweep from then on.
Bullet Punch sweep. It was very, very well played, and the championship team just didn't have a response for it. And you can prepare all you want in it, but if you don't have a response for it, if your team composition just doesn't work out that way.
Oh, and when I played Dynamic Duo, I mean, we're in the same division.
Yeah.
And I think I only beat him 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say. I know it was not. I mean, his team just matched up well against mine.
Yeah. That's
just
the way it works. Yeah.
That's all it came down to.
All right, now the game that everybody wants to see. This feud was born on the playground at Penn Trafford School District, escalated in the PBF Games of the Week on YouTube, exasperated in the Facebook comments. Team Sparklefuck versus the San Jose Sharpedos. Alex Pingle versus Adam Neal. Seth, what do you think of this blood feud?
Oh, I mean, they're both teams. I mean, Sparklefuck is 7-5, and where is Pingle? I can't seem to find
Pingle,
it.
that is Pingle.
Oh wait, where's
Adam is Pikachu division bottom.
San Jose's 3-9.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things where.
But you got to throw the records out the window.
Yeah, absolutely.
When these two get together.
That's what I was just gonna say. I mean, like you said, and I believe, don't mistake me, but we said before Sparklefuck runs a
Blizzard
team.
Trick Room.
Yeah.
Hail
so
Trick Room.
I mean, that game is just gonna be extremely interesting.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely not. I'm not trying to shoot shots, because I will admit when I do, because I like to. But they both beat you.
They did.
So that
Sparklefuck was actually the team that froze me 3 times.
Yeah. So that at least puts them. If you're trying to find some non-record comparison between the two,
they both beat a division leader.
They both beat a division leader. So that's not to say that Pingle has a gigantic advantage based on his record alone. I know we threw out the records. I'm just kind of reinforcing it from a statistical, well, not really statistical, but I guess statistical standpoint. But my money, honestly, for this game hinges on how well the San Jose Sharpedos baton pass, and if he can prevent Gyarados from getting set up. That, I think, is going to,
Now, you and I have both known the two competitors for a few years now. All 4 of us went to the same high school. When I look at this, I think a slight advantage will go to the San Jose Sharpedos, because he was the instigator in this feud. He poked the bear that is Team Sparklefuck and Alex Pingle.
That's true.
And I'm worried that Alex's anger and just vitriol is going to make him make a rash decision. He's going to want to attack when he should maybe lay back a bit and switch, maybe try to get one extra kill in. I think his anger and frustration might cause him to make a silly mistake.
Yeah, but some people operate better under stress, under irritation and stuff like that. But I think it's going to be interesting to see. I try to rid myself and cleanse myself of emotions in Pokemon, except whenever I'm on a streak-breaking rampage. But I tend to agree with you, but I think Pingle has shown with his 7-5 record that he knows enough about Pokemon that I think he would understand that the better course of action, rather than just straight off attacking, is to just win, and to do that any means possible. But a caveat to that is that Adam doesn't really have too much in the way of walls. So maybe just flat out attacking would actually be the best strategy.
It's true.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're Adam, you've got to look at Pingle's team and see how top heavy it is with that Gyarados essentially getting almost all of his kills. I mean, you can't say almost all, but I mean,
a good deal.
He's got 2 Pokemon in double digits. Gyarados is with 22 kills. The next closest is Abomasnow with 11.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'll give you that.
Yeah, just strictly Pokemon speaking. it's going to be interesting. And, I mean, Mega Lucario is always a threat, but, I mean, hey, maybe Pinkle could slow him down with Trick Room. I don't know. It'll be...
I mean, Mega Lucario was banned to Ubers for a reason.
Yep.
And speaking of banned Ubers, last week's issue was the banning of Swagger into Ubers. We saw this week that didn't really affect any play.
Swagger was used a couple times.
Swagger was used.
You know, we played him, and that's tough. I know we talked about this, but I'm not sure if we talked about it. But I'm like almost positive that if someone's gonna use Swagger, you have to face in the Ubers tier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know Swagger's coming then, which sucks, but Continue.
I'm gonna start battling all my people in Ubers.
Might actually be a good idea for
That
you.
might not be a terrible idea.
But irrelevant.
Yeah.
Please continue.
I was actually kind of kidding, but that's fine.
And we noticed that Showdown is now considering banning Baton Pass, but we don't think that's really a threat.
No,
to happen.
I don't. I usually whenever I see Smogon's crap, I kind of just look at it, roll my eyes, and continue. But I did read it a little bit, and they're not really so much talking about banning Baton Pass that they're talking about how tough dealing with Baton Pass on an Espeon is. But I didn't see any I didn't really play in 5th Gen, but I know that Espeon with Baton Pass was not banned in 5th Gen.
Mm-hmm.
So why now? I don't know why they're complaining about it.
Yeah, what changed?
Yeah. And they also said something about Scolipede, but Ninjask has done the same thing for
And honestly, that's
gen.
and if you ban that, those Pokemon are just gonna fall completely by the wayside.
Yeah.
And that's 3 less Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like I like the being able to use more Pokemon in OU. And just
I agree.
By banning that, you take out at least 5 that I can think of.
Which is why Baton Pass being possibly banned is not our issue of this week.
Mm-hmm.
Our issue of this week deals with the structural integrity of the PBF. In a co-founders meeting earlier this week, Jeremy and I were discussing the level of inactivity for some members of the PBF, and we were wondering if the schedule should be shortened from 10 weeks to 6 weeks.
Yeah, I'd like to give a little bit more background to that issue. We were originally throwing this idea around, I believe it was Saturday, and we had received
Less than half of the games by Saturday.
Barely half. And we were like, well, shoot, do people really want to do this for this long? And I think I've said before on the podcast that if I could go back, we would have made it 2 games a week instead of 3. But I still am fine with 3. I think 3 Pokemon games a week is less than an hour a week.
Definitely doable.
And I know it's tough to get in contact with everybody. Everyone has schedules. Everyone has different schedules. Everyone's busy. That's not the issue at point. It's 3 games. It's staying that way. Suck it. But for the whole 6-week thing, if that would just be easier for people to do, because I know our finals are next week, and I don't have any, so I obviously can't complain. But Pitt's finals come before everyone else's, so Pitt's finals are going to be during week 6, and then in like week 8 or something, in week 9 will be everybody else's finals. And at that point, everyone's going to have played this for 8 weeks. Maybe they'll be bored, and then they'll have finals on top of that. I just don't know if it's something that everyone else wants to continue doing. But
no, you can keep going.
Okay.
I just
then on Sunday we got, I think, only 4 or 5 games were not played, so that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I believe it might have been more than that. It was 7 max, and I think 6 of them, or like 3 of them, were all by the same person.
I think 6 were. 2 people didn't play at all.
Yeah, 2 people didn't play at all.
Yeah.
So and obviously that's not the fault of the other people. So, I mean, that was fine.
Mm-hmm.
So Seth, you weren't in the meeting discussing this. So what do you think of the prospect of cutting down the season?
I was just gonna say, I kind of what you said about finals week and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that will definitely hurt people's chances of playing games. Have you? I don't know how much you guys talk about how much you guys actually talked about it, but did you ever consider like a bye week? If we found out that because I know it's hard because
not everybody's going
to be at the same. Yeah.
We haven't. And I mean, really, that's what this is for. I mean, if you could just post in the comments, we'd greatly appreciate if you could just tell us what you guys think. Let us know when your finals are. Let us know if your finals are going to be overwhelmingly difficult to the point that you just can't play.
You don't want to have to think about it. Cause,
yeah. And the other thing is that no one has taken us up on yet is that we would be absolutely happy to postpone a game.
Yep.
If you want to play it the next week,
yep,
that's fine. Nobody's really taking us up on that. So
So would you feel disappointed, Seth, if the season was cut by 4 weeks?
4 weeks,
maybe. It would essentially secure your division lead and the number one seed in the blue. But.
It would, but I think the more you shorten it, the more you kind of get rid of the opportunity for like the comeback.
Right.
You know what I mean? Say we did 6 weeks. Yeah. Say we did 6 weeks. Say you have like a rough first 2 weeks. Say for instance, it's still 3 games a week. You go 0-6.
Yeah.
With that being like a third of the season, that's going to be really hard to come back.
Right, and that's why we promised 10 weeks, and I am 100. I'm not like trying to puss out here and say I don't want to play this anymore. I absolutely am in this for